I'm out in the middle of nowhere, half an hour from home. Here comes the plane that stops me. Like you can't even hear it. It's so quiet you can't even hear it. That thing is deathly quiet. It is so quiet you can't even hear it. And I bet that thing ain't 600, 700 feet above me. And you can see the drone. There's the drone right there. Look. Just barely hear it. Just barely hear it right above my head. As they always are. See? And the drone is right through that tree there. As you can see. That one there, and then there's a drone right there, straight ahead. There's about 6 drones, and of course the plane's on me at all times. Yeah, barely hear it. Very quiet. Barely hear it. I'll give you a view of all the drones that are surrounding me. Here's one right above my head. This camera on this phone sucks, but there's the brightest one right there. That's the brightest one right there. That's the one that'll follow me all the way down the mountain. And then, God, this camera sucks, man. That other one I had, it was good. I guess because it's a live stream, it don't pick up good. I don't know. Let's see if I can get something done here. Trying to turn it around. Back at me. There I am. I'm exhausted. Sorry you guys got cut off earlier. My daughter called and she wants to show me all her pretty plants. I love my kids. Oh my gosh, they're so... For all you dads out there that are struggling and you don't have your kids with you, the state stole my kids. They put me in this program, prompted me to murder myself while I was a single dad doing everything the right thing with no help from the outside world, no assistance from the ex-wife because she just took off with a freaking crackhead. I did it on my own, and then this program went nuts on me. Voices in my head, constant vandalism. I mean, I'm sitting in church and I hear a voice in my head, my voice in my head, telling me it's going to be okay. Let's go home. Everything's going to be all right. And everything after that's kind of fuzzy. They said I called my ex-wife, which I would never do, ever. I climb up in it I put my Harley in the middle of the building, climb on top of it, tie a rope to my head and around my neck and jumped. And they said that I was dead for 45 minutes. The doctor said it's a miracle that I'm even here. He said I should have been brain dead. I should be completely dead. He said the height that I jumped from and the way I jumped, because you could see the abrasion on my neck and the bruise. He said it should have collapsed my trachea and snapped my neck. He said just being dead that long, that I shouldn't have anything in my head working. Nothing. I mean, I should be a vegetable, if even a vegetable. And that's the last time that my children have spent the night in the home with me. I prayed every night. I prayed, Lord, please, Lord, whatever you can do, bring my children back. Please, Heavenly Father, bring my children back, please. And I never thought it would happen. Social services scared him and said, "Oh, your dad's going to hunt you down. Your dad's going to murder you. You can't talk to him. Don't ever reach out because he's so dangerous. He will kill you if he gets a chance." And then I find out years later that the home that they put my daughters in, they were verbally abused. My daughters haven't said they were physically abused. I think they're trying to keep me out of prison. They said they weren't physically abused or sexually abused, but the girl before my daughters that was in the house, because these people, they do this. It isn't out of the kindness of their heart that they semi-adopt children through social services. They're trafficking children. The girl before my daughters went to their home. She was 13, and the father, the same father in that house, was molesting her and having sex with her. My daughter swears that nothing happened and she was never a part of anything. So I want to believe her. I don't want to go to prison. Any person that would touch a child doesn't deserve to breathe. And unfortunately, in America, we are funding the most child trafficking in human history, the most abuse to God's little children. Your tax dollars are funding daily. You think Vice or a network of that magnitude would want to cover this and other targets? Vice covered it, and they made a mockery. They made a mockery of the guy out in California. They made a mockery of him. They had a cop on there thinking that the cop would give some kind of relevance, but it was just a joke. Targeted individuals. Even one guy in Great Britain, he showed the X-rays, the MRIs of all the chips that was in his head and in his body, and then they still act like, I mean, the amount of hassle that I would have to go to fake this, or the amount of hassle anyone. And here's the deal: why would anybody want to tell the world what's happening? Why would anybody want to admit this evil is happening? It's because me being a man, that makes me look weak, that I would attempt to murder myself. When you got a voice in your head and it's your voice, how do you distinguish between your voice and a machine? How do you know it's your voice and not a machine? How do you know it's actually a thought? Because some thoughts you say to yourself, but audibly inside your head, you don't hear them. It's just a thought. But with V2K, you can literally hear a voice inside your head. And until you have the discernment only from God to know which is your voice and which is this weapon, it's terrifying. And everywhere I hear, I keep my ears open for people, and all this violence going on in America, all these people going up into schools, and it's all V2K. It is so easy. And if you watch the population, I mean, 30 years ago, you didn't see all these BBW, big black women, going into fast food restaurants and attacking people. You didn't see them throwing cash registers, and a lot's got to do with with a fatherless home, I understand. But it's almost like it's acceptable now to be insane. The problem is the scientist will say, we don't know what the effects of all these frequencies are going to do. Oh, no, 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 no. We know exactly what these frequencies do. They're killing us. HAARP is killing us. It's driving people mad. You've got the fluoride in the water that dulls down your senses and pretty much makes you a lame sheep. It makes you impotent as a person. And then you got the water, the stuff in the water that is literally turning the frogs gay. And everybody wants to ignore it. When I come out where there's no power, there's no internet, no service, my body's totally different. But when I'm in that house, it's literally a terror dome, Terror, terror dome, where I walk in and it feels like I've got 1,000 pounds of lead weight on my shoulders, on my back, and it's just squeezing me. It's like carrying around 100 wet quilts. Just can't move, no motivation. It's literally like I have to escape my home to be able to get anything done. Gore says they're dragging the kids across the border, shipping them all over the U.S. and from the U.S. They kidnap the pretty little white blonde kids, because that's the top dollar, pretty little white blonde kids. They kidnap them, send them overseas to these really evil people. And you notice the kids disappear most during what? During war during mass migrations, because this is the largest migration in human history, and all of that trash is coming here. I don't know if you hear, but Miss Hochul, what's her name, Karen Hochul, the governor of New York, she now has the National Guard in New York City in the subways. Now, that should terrify everybody that the military is in our cities activated to try to quell the crime. Well, the solution is you remove the criminals, you load them all back up and ship them all back. Or a better idea, these evil people from Venezuela and all these third world crap hole countries that hate us, you take them and you put them in chains and you put them on a chain gang and you make them build the wall at the border. If you're going to cross the wall, you've got 10 years of border service to go. You have to be on that border building the wall. Another way to generate revenue, every piece of land owned in this country by foreign entities, every country, any person from another land they have to give up their land and should go to public auction, not for BlackRock, not for big investors, but to a public, because you remember during the land rush of the 1800s, they said, here, just go out there, mark your plot, and it's yours. So that's what people did out west. They marked thousands of acres and it was theirs. We need to do that now. Almost 38 states populations are now in America. Did you hear me? 38 states from other countries into America are now here. And they're breeding 1.4. That's the max amount of children you can make is 1.4 children per year. Last year was the first year that white people in America did not breed more than died. We are absolutely the minority. And why is that? It's all by design. Why? And everybody in the audience wants to call me a racist. You can say whatever you want, but these are facts. You can control and destroy societies when there's melanin in their blood. You look at all these third world countries, Africa, Asia, all these countries, all you have to do is get them mad at each other and they will be animals and rip everything apart. And then once they exterminate half the population, then the feds come in and exterminate them. They are just useful idiots. It is easier to, I mean, look. Listen to the coyotes. Listen to me. All you have to do is give them a cell phone and say you love them, and they will vote for you for 8 years. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, remember what he said? He said, you let me have it, and I'll have them N-words voting for me for 100 years. So what did he do? He gave them all welfare. It is easier to destroy. And they're trying this in Russia, but you know why it's hard to turn the people of Russia against each other? The hardest part is because they're all majority white. Not white Caucasian, but white skinned. Now they have a huge, and it's going to be a problem, huge Muslim population. But they try to separate those people by class. They're always like, because I watch a lot of Russian TV, like Stop a Douchebag. You ought to watch that, it's funny. But it's always about class. They try to separate those people by class. And it's so amazing to watch people who lived under communism and here they Stop a Douchebag guys. They're just out there trying to keep cars off of the sidewalks. That's simple. So they ask you to move your car. If you don't move your car, they'll put a sticker on your windshield. It's that simple. But these communists will come out. And in Russia, if you have more than 2 people with you, it can be considered a protest. You can't go out there with a banner that says, I love Russia, I love Putin. You can't do any of that with more than 2 people. So these people who have been under chains, just like in our government, we're the government, we're here to protect you. Well, these people think that communism is the way it should be. We're protected. And if you go outside the bounds, like the guys on Stop a Douchebag, they'll say, you must love Navalny. Navalny, you must have voted for him. because he's a different class of person. Well, everybody that wants to praise Navalny, he got rich on the populist claims. He was a heister too. He was a criminal too. It's just amazing the things that we don't know until you go and look at it. But here's the deal. Russia has been chosen to be the next up. China is the number one. Listen, China is going straight to the top, but they're going to put Russia in that position to make the money because they are generating. They don't have room for any of the cars. None. People, I mean, they're blowing up in wealth. Why? The American taxpayer made their rubles worth double what they ever were before. So anybody, Joe Biden says, "Oh, I put tariffs on them to hurt them." All it did was drive the price of their currency through the roof. What are you going to do then? Let's see here. Sadly, the BBW behavior you speak of is not only tolerated but celebrated. Yes. And you look in the comment section, all the other black folks who approve of that behavior are cheering them on, and it's racist this and racist that, and you're a Karen. And listen, you can go on YouTube right now and find 20 different channels and more Karen channels where it shows white women, and the majority of it is white women who didn't want to wear a mask. So just like in Russia, where you got the communists are like, "Oh, I'm going to call the KGB, I'm going to call the militia on you because you can't be here with more than 2 people. You're protesting. You're not allowed to do that without permission from Putin." The communism is so ingrained in them that they're so terrified to be free. The same thing in America. People are terrified to be free. So a person wanted to say, "I'm not going to wear your face diaper. I'm not going to take your jab." That is crazy to the people that have been brainwashed their whole lives. And unfortunately for them people, when this certain event happens, because, and you guys need to go back and watch the Jimmy Dore show, where they said they have an estimated amount of people that die every year over the standard amount of people that die. In America, we have, I think it's 100, was it 100 million? No, it was 10 million more people have died over the base regular amount that should have died the past 2 years. And the only thing that's changed is what? What they put in their bodies. And this is all over the world. People are dropping dead. Now, if you go back and the Bible says that when the angels, the 4 fallen angels that God had imprisoned underneath the Euphrates are let loose, that they will kill 1/3 the world's population. I beseech you, people in the audience, I believe it was about 1/3 the population that took that certain thing. And the sad part is a lot of these people, they were good people. And they did their research, but all the research lied to them. They didn't get off Google. They didn't go to DuckDuckGo, and they didn't go to Bing. They didn't search out far and wide to find what they needed to know to keep them and themselves safe. And that's why when you took that thing, you had to sign a waiver saying, "I'm not going to sue anybody." And if you pay attention close enough in America, all the ones like Rand Paul, I love Rand Paul. He's a constitutionalist. He's a good man, just like his father, Ron. But he took it. He's a doctor. I mean, an eye doctor, yes, but he has to, when any kind of doctor you are, you still have to take everything to be like an MD. But he still took it. So here's my question. How many politicians have dropped dead from this certain thing that they took? Because I know we watched Nancy Pelosi on TV, and they squeezed nothing into her arm. We watched Joe Biden on TV, squeeze nothing into his arm. Donald Trump supposedly squeezed something in his arm, and boom, 3 days later, he's healthy as a horse. And then we heard rumors that in red states, we hear rumors that in red states, they got a bad batch, but the blue states didn't. And in lower Texas, for the people that don't believe that racism exists, in the lower states, I gotta keep my eye on something here. On the lower states, if you weren't black or a minority, you could not get it. Well, for Texas MPT, and you've got their vote. Yep, watch out for the red line. Capitalism. Greetings from Detroit. No, Victor says no. I love listening to your video, learning new things, bad things. Listen, folks, we are an endangered species. They're going to take every one of us out as fast as they can. I just can't believe with people in France, farmers in France have more balls than we do. People in France have more balls than we do. The farmers are pushing down barricades and filling the streets of the capitals full of manure. They're put up blockades stopping all of the vegetables from other countries. It's just like, listen, that fire in Texas killed 10,000 cattle. Now, isn't it weird how they told us that cow farts are bad and it's killing the ozone and global warming and you shouldn't eat red meat, and then boom, thousands of food processing centers around America burnt to the ground, and now 10,000 cows. On top of that, they're importing meat from China and other countries into America. And every politician, except very few in Congress, fought against the labeling of predestination. They fought against it. Tina Martin says, anyone with a lower IQ of 5 should not talk about this. Well, I don't see you talking about it because apparently you don't understand. And as the people that watch my videos know, fact check me on everything, but don't go to Google and don't go to Bing. Go to the smaller places that aren't controlled by fact checkers like PolitiFact and Snopes. Snopes, who is actually two people in a mobile home, and George Soros funds them, or PolitiFact, who is funded by George Soros. All these people that are funded, just like when Barack Obama had all the global warming scientists, he said, we're going to give you the money, but you have to say this. It's craziness. I love the difference between community suicide and murder. I don't know. I don't know if you do. I hope you do, Miss Martin. I just want to see my kids grow up and get old. I want to see my grandchildren grow up, but that's not going to be an option. It's just not going to be an option. Bill Gates has bought land all across America. He owns hundreds of thousands, if not millions of acres. And the most of his land has the most water conifers on it. And most of the land has a higher elevation than others around it. China's buying up all the land. How in the world do we let a hostile party like China buy land around our military bases? How does that happen? That's ignorance. It's just like with Nixon. Nixon is the one that took us off the gold standard. And Bill and Hillary Clinton, of course, as good to people as they are, you know what they did? They gave North Korea all of our nuclear information. They sold our nuclear secrets. And then, of course, Hillary had to top that and sell all of our uranium to Russia. The only way, and listen, I told a guy yesterday, and I appreciated him listening, but we were talking about on 9/11 where he's like, man, maybe this will actually work. Or not 9/11, but on January 6th. Maybe they'll actually do it. Maybe they'll actually get something done. And there were many people in America that were cheering for change, but I knew in my heart it was all a setup. And now you can see that the evidence. It was all set up, and I told everybody it's a trap. That guy on Star Wars? Looks like he's got a vagina for a face. It's a trap. This place could be, the world could be so great. But unfortunately, what people do not understand is this is the one hell. This is hell where we're at. Satan runs this planet. He's in charge of it all. And it's hard knowing the destructions that's coming. I mean, it's literally like it feels like that I'm covered in chicken juice and I'm sitting in a pond waiting for crocodiles, and I can see the crocodiles coming and they're going to kill me, and I'm not doing anything that's standing there. The feeling of helplessness that I get now, today, and every day, where I know that it's God's will that America be destroyed. That is faith, people. To know that God's going to destroy everything where we're at. We're all going to be wiped off the map. But have enough faith to know that Jesus is the Son of God and that his God rules and reigns above everything. That's and here's the thing that people don't understand. These people, they're evil enough to take children, abuse them, and then murder them and then eat their corpses. That's how evil these people are. If you don't think they're not sacrificing children to Moloch, you're out of your mind. They openly brag about it. Satan no longer hides. For thousands of years, he's convinced people he did not exist. Well, guess what? He is partying hard and heavy now, and everyone's following right along. Every music, when you turn on a radio station, a rock station, a R&B, if any of that music that isn't uplifting to God, then it's uplifting to Satan. That evil goes in your body and it comes back out of you in different ways. Satan has corrupted everything. It's just with voice to skull weapons. Once you know it, like I know it, they can control everyone. You look at Mitch McConnell and tell me he's in charge of his faculties. You look at Dick Durbin, and he's really in charge. Nancy Pelosi, that freaking crazy crypt keeper, you think that she's really in control of her own mind? I don't want to see Joe Biden because Joe Biden's dead. That's someone pretending to be Joe Biden. But here's the deal. These people worshiping Moloch, the people at CERN, they are breaking down this dimensional wall between us and, as the Bible says, the higher places. Satan is bringing an army, and for some reason, he thinks that he can destroy God. And I've always, because I love God, I know God exists, but there's always that thing in the back of your mind saying, just what if? What if I'm just stupid and there is no God? Just what if? But then I thought to myself, I never once thought that there was a chance that God could lose to Satan. I never thought there was an inkling of a chance that Satan and his minions could destroy God, because he doesn't have to do anything. God can destroy them without saying a word. He can destroy them without even blinking. God can destroy, and he will. Here's something I was watching the other day. I was watching Joe Rogan, and he was talking to that jackass Neil deGrasse Tyson, the rocket scientist, who's a dumbass. And they were talking about, they showed the world map, and you can look and see in the world where all the landmass had broken apart. You remember seeing that, where all of it looks like a puzzle and you can squeeze it all back together. It's one big landmass. I guess it was God who gave me the epiphany. As soon as I saw that, it just triggered in my mind that I knew exactly how that happened. Are you guys still here? The chat's not going anywhere. So hit up in the chat. Gorf, you still here? So when that happened, and you could see all the pieces of the puzzle that would mold together and it would be one large landmass, I knew exactly. God told me exactly how that happened.
You remember the Tower of Babel when they were trying to build a temple to get to their God? Remember that? And then God came down and God said, I'm going to bust this party up. And what did he do? He separated everyone by race, color, and creed and gave them all different languages so one could not understand the other. Well, I think that in that time, that when God said that, that the people from that, just say you have North Carolina and you've got South Carolina, and they're joined together, and God said, we're going to separate you are, and you're not going to know each other's language, and boom, South Carolina goes over here to the ocean to the west, and North Carolina goes to the east, and it splits it all up. It was just an epiphany that God did that even then. Now the people say, oh, the earth is 10 million years old. You're a fool. It's not 10 million. It's not 100 million. The earth is not but maybe 5 or 6,000 years old. You see, if you count biblical time a year, right? That's nothing to you, is it? Well, think about this, that 1,000 years to us is 1 year to God. 1,000 years to us is 1 year to God. Because remember, he said he did this on the first day and the second day. So when God was creating the heavens, he took his time to do it. He thought out every single thing. When he created us and the animals around us, he knew exactly where the intestines would go. He gave us a septic system. He gave us an electrical company in our bodies. He gave us all these things. They gave us white and red blood cells to heal ourselves. We have our own hospital inside of our bodies. God did all that, but 1,000 years to us is only 1 day to God. So it took God, what, 7 days, 6 days, 7 days to create the earth and put us all here? How long do you think it's going to take when he comes back? Because Jesus came back. He was here. And it's 2024 years since he was here. So the time is very, very close. Everything is falling in line. The Bible proving itself true daily. And yes, Tina, I hear myself. You don't have to believe it. But all I'm doing is the people who are listening, who are saying, oh, that God's a goddamn idiot. He's a moron. He don't know what he's doing. Can you believe yourself? If you've got a 5 IQ, you don't know nothing. Let me tell you this much. All I have done is I'm telling you that Jesus is Lord. If you don't ask for forgiveness and turn from your evil ways and live according to God's law, if you do not do that, I just set up the appointment between you and God. I just set you up for either eternity in heaven or eternity in hell. Because what? Because the Bible says that Jesus will not return till every man, woman, and child on earth has heard the good news. Every day in the world, people find another tribe that has never seen white people. Every day. And with the internet, remember when the two men show up, the two prophets show up to tell us about God and to bring people to God's to God. The two prophets that are going to show up and do what they're going to do. Everyone's going to see it. They're going to see them doing miracles. And what the World Wide Web, the internet that was made for evil, because listen, the internet's good for good things, but there's far more evil things that happens on the internet than there is good things. I say, well, I know I'm not going to hell because I never rebuked the name of Jesus, and I know the Bible. I've read the Bible, but some of your stuff that you talk about, I mean, like, it's really a little shady. Tell me what's shady. I'll entertain the audience. What's shady? What have I said that is incorrect, or even better, what do I say that you don't understand? Because that's all it is. Because I can back up everything. But I'll tell you, the earth is not millions of years old. It's not. God was so sick of us humans that he wiped Sodom and Gomorrah off. That he was so sick of us humans that in Noah's day, he wiped out everyone but Noah. He was sick of everything. You're just going to end up blocking me because you're not going to like what I don't care what you have to say as long as you're not rude about it. If you say what your opinion is, I don't have any problem telling you what I think. But it's the people that get on here just to attack, like Turd Gorilla and Chief Handler and all the people that don't understand, because I can refute everything you have to say with facts. Because You may not have been here long, but the people that watch and know me have never caught me in a lie, and they can't prove me. Earth is not millions of years old. I do agree with that. There are some things I do agree, but 1,000 days to God is only one day, not a year. 1,000 years to us is one day to God. Go back and look at the biblical timeline. 1,000 years to us is one day to God. Because remember, it says when God comes back, we'll live 1,000 years in paradise, in God's land. Will we live 1,000 years then? That's only one day to God. And you can count. It's literally down to they've got it almost down to the day of creation. Go through the genealogy of Adam and Eve and Enoch and Noah and Moses and all of them. You can go down through the generations and literally count time by it, and you'll see the earth is only like 6,000 years old. And it's amazing. What did you say? 1,000 days to God is 1 year? No, I said 1,000 years to us is one day to God. Whew. Anyway, guys, if you want to leave a comment, leave a comment. I've got to get home. I'm tired. I'm hurting. I've been going since 8 o'clock. But I love all you guys. Hate me all you want. You disagree with me, that's fine. Leave your comment and I'll answer it. The earth isn't round neither. And the earth is flat. Yep, you're right. The earth is not a ball. We are not a ball at all. I totally agree with that. We will live forever, so it won't matter at that point. So praise him. 1,000 years ain't forever, but it sounds good enough. And here's a big problem in the targeted individual community. Gorf, if you're still here, tell me how many people are here. Text how many people. I guess 25 or 26. I can't see it from my end, but so many targeted individuals think that they're the 144,000 people, the chosen ones. They're not. The 144,000 people are all virgins. They're all completely sin-free people. So I ain't going to be one of the 144. Only 9. Well, that's good enough for me. That's 9 more people that get to hear about God. So I love you guys. I am tired. I'm beat. And I hope that I make it home. I got a long drive to go. But any questions or comments, just let me know. And I'll answer all that I can. Thank you guys for being here. You're nameless, faceless people that I don't know. And you're the only ones that talk to me. God bless. Love you.